It's wonderful to see everybody, and so many people I haven't seen in so long, and it's great to see you guys. And then with the mask, like, oh my gosh, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so, so-and-so. So it's great to see everybody. So we're going to do things depending on how everything works out. But you've got the information on your tables as well. And yes, I am getting older. You guys have, been seeing me on TV for 30 years. So yes, I get older as well. Hopefully there we go. So. We do want to, as Rita mentioned, this is being put on by the Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce. So I'd like to just, if you could please stand up, some of the members who are here and just be recognized, that would be great. Harry is right here. Harry Singh is the chairman of LVICC, HRBC Consulting, and he did take the India Exploration Trip 2019 with GoEd. And of course, Rita. Who doesn't know Rita Vaswani, the president of LVICC? And Bindi Parekh, immigration attorney and specializing in EB-5 Investors Program for Nevada. Garima Bhardwaj, public relations and editor, LVICC. Anu Pandey, LVICC scholarship chair, educator with Liberty High School. Adnan Khwaja, Director of Web and Digital Marketing and with Sky Vista Consulting. And then Rita already told you about me. So there we go.
Thank you all for being here this evening. It is a pleasure to be here and inviting me to speak at this event and inviting my lovely wife and our First Lady of Nevada, Kathy Kuklak. Serving as your governor is truly the honor of my lifetime, and it is an honor and pleasure to welcome Consul General Dr. Prasad to Nevada for this evening's festivities. Thank you to Las Vegas Indian Chamber of Commerce and Tourism and Rita Vaswani and Harry Singh for organizing this event tonight. It's extremely important that we have the opportunity to mingle and get to know each other and learn from an event like this. I will be very brief because I know we've got some interesting people that are going to speak, and I don't have anywhere near the interesting things to talk about that they do when we're talking about the relationship with India. But a couple of things I want to point out, that as Rita said, in 2019, they organized a exploration trade mission into New Delhi and Mumbai. And that was Harry and Rita and the Chamber were responsible for organizing that. We sincerely appreciate it. And one thing that I realized, and I know this is a fact that Mr. Guerrero probably discovered, Jeremy, Nevada exports more to India than any other country in the world. And we exported $1.5 billion, whether you could probably guess what it is that we exported, $1.5 billion worth of gold we exported to India. And we imported, for the ladies that are here, $350 million worth of diamonds from India. So that was my fun facts for the evening. Diamonds and gold, they go together very, very well. And there are no free samples tonight. Other than the gold or the diamonds, there will be no samples given away. Thank you for joining us. And I want to we could all give a shout out to the staff here for the phenomenal food in service that we're getting. And with that, Sue, thank you very much. And Rita, thank you for organizing this. And everybody, Vicki takes the best pictures in the whole world. So if you haven't had Vicki take a picture, Vicki, my turn is the best. So,
thank you.
My turn. Thank you all very much. Sue, thank you. Oh, and that's all. I almost walked away.
Yes.
We have a certificate to present to the Nevada-India Bilateral Business Opportunities Dinner. So, Rita, if we could give you this, and Harry, or...
Get it.
Thank you.
So much, Governor. Now, hopefully, Dina has had a little bit of rest. And just ready to come up here now. Our Congresswoman, of course, Dina Titus.
Well, excuse me for barging in and interrupting. I certainly didn't mean to do that, and I never want to step on the governor, so you sorry. Thank you, Rita. Thank you for having me, all of you. Many friends in this room, and I've been joining you for these kinds of occasions. The food is always wonderful, even if we don't get the free golden diamonds. I'm glad to be here. I'm home for this week, and when I go back next week, it's going to be chaos. As you probably heard in the news, we hope to get something done by October 31st, but not real confident that that deadline is going to be met. But really, one of the things I find most interesting is serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee. And I'm on the subcommittee for Asia. So I get to be a real representative for the Indian community here in Las Vegas in the Congress. And we have had many exchanges, and I've visited India, and I just am so impressed by the role that you play during the pandemic. This community really reached out, helped the governor's programs, getting vaccinations, getting testing, getting information to the community. We worked together also when the phase 2 hit India so hard to get ventilators and medicine and equipment to India from this community. And so you are appreciated not only here, but there as well. In addition to that, as the governor was talking about, what an economic impact you have. Small business is the key to the recovering economy. And thank you for supporting each other through the chambers. But what you do to help small business come back is just amazing, getting out information. There are many grant programs, many loan programs that are available through the Recovery Act. But if we don't get access to them, take advantage of them, then there's no point. So I know that the chambers do a really good job of that. And I thank you, and I hope you'll consider me a partner. So I'm delighted to be here. It's always an honor to be with our wonderful First Lady and the guy with her. But I can tell you, and I say this from the heart and from the head, we have never had a governor who has been more inclusive, more supportive of diversity, worked harder to be sure that everybody benefits from all the programs that are out there than Steve Sisolak. So, Mr. Consul General, welcome to District 1. You're in my district. You're always welcome here, and thank you all for coming.
Okay, thank you, Dina. And you just spoke of the Indian Consul General. We're going to have him come up here and say a few words as well from the San Francisco office. Navendra Prasad.
Honorable Governor, Honorable Congresswoman, and the Board of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce. I'm honored and privileged to be here amongst you. And thank you very much, Rita and Harry and LB, ICC for organizing this event. It was long pending. Because of pandemic, we were unable to move ahead. I must tell you that as largest and oldest democracies, India and US share values and also the vision for the world. Our relations have been growing very strong from strength to strength. We saw recently our Prime Minister was in Washington DC for first in-person meeting with President Biden and then Vice President Harris and other leaders. Not only that, we had a Quad meeting, first in-person meeting, which is bringing the democracies of the world which are coming together for global good. The first thing what they decided was to produce 1 billion vaccines in India with the help of all the Quad members, that is US, Australia and Japan, India. So to provide it for the nations who are unable to produce vaccines. India, as Congresswoman said, we had a very bad patch of second phase, and I must appreciate this strong community all over the US has come together to help India to come out of the crisis. Now, we proudly say that we have vaccinated about 76% of our population. And it was possible because of the innate strengths from Indians, and we had used only 2 vaccines. One is indigenously developed Covaxin, and the other one is Covishield, which is AstraZeneca. And we are looking forward for again to open up our exports to the world. As you know, India's history is thousands of years old, and we have a saying that in Sanskrit, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, world is one family. We, even before we have completed vaccination of our population, we have presented vaccines to our neighbors at free of cost, and also have traded it with a country like Brazil here well before we were into second batch. After realizing the second batch impact, we were restricted to export the vaccines, but now we are good with it, and our health cooperation with US is strong, and 4 of the American firms are now joining Indian companies to produce 4 more vaccines. As regards economy, India has not neglected despite the COVID. In the world, everyone is talking about one must have a reliable link in the supply chain. One should not depend on one source. The entire world was depending on one source, and it has been realized, and now India is growing as a manufacturing hub. I thank Governor for telling about gold and diamonds. I must inform you, we have got a bit of reduction in the trade in the gold and diamonds, because our jewelry association, which wanted to come and participate in Las Vegas trade show, was not given visas, but that's for different reasons. So I think we lost on that. We have to compensate it next year. Having said that, there are million opportunities. We are the youngest nation. Our mean age is 29 years. And then the economy is growing. The World Bank and IMF have estimated that India can grow at 8 to 9%, and then such a large economy growing at 8 to 9% is a big development. We are looking at that. And US and India, we have opened up knowledge partnership, particularly in education sector. We are trying to cooperate. We have a new education policy with which universities can collaborate on twinning projects, exchange of students, exchange of faculty. There is a lot of enthusiasm on the West Coast, I saw, and then hopefully we will get into that kind of partnership also. Having said that, I must inform all the Indian community members and then Honorable Governor that India is celebrating 75 years of its independence this year. And everywhere in US, the community is celebrating along with the local population, local government. It's called Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and then we are planning an event in Las Vegas too. So hope we will soon come up with some ideas with the community, strong community here. And Rita has told me that not more than 2-3 minutes you must speak. So I would like to, we diplomats go on speaking, and then our job is that after flying 2 hours, I must inform much more than this. But thank you very much for this strong relationship. I look forward for Governor's visit to India. Now that Honorable Congresswoman has visited, I look forward Governor's visit to India. We will make a good program with which we can improve our trade relations, not only trade and political and cultural relations. I must mention here, any point of time we have 200,000 Indian students studying in US, and 70% of them are in STEM areas. That is an asset for US and also a win-win situation for India and US. So in Bay Area, a study was conducted. Every entrepreneurial visa given to an Indian has produced 8 local jobs in US. That is the study that has been revealed. So we look forward for much more cooperation. Our countries are growing, and I look forward for that. The community is strong, and then it's a strong bridge. If I have to tell in my Prime Minister's words, the 4 million strong Indian community in US is helping us to strengthen these relations. We always had bipartisan support, in the government in US, and then we look forward for more growth in these relations. With these few words, thanking the LVICC for inviting me for this function. I look forward for more consulate generals support to your events. If you are leading or launching a trade delegation, we will be there. And then if you want to get a delegation from India, we will be there. Thank you very much for this evening. Thank you very much.
We have Michael Brown, the Executive Director of the Governor's Economic Development.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. When the governor appointed me to this job in late October of 2019, the staff said we'd like to make a little trip to India. They've been working with Harry, and I thought, well, let's try it. Let's see what we can do there. Expedition went forward. I said, you have to visit the World Gold Council, because in my prior life I was president of the local gold mining company. A lot of Nevada gold ended up there. They made that visit. And then the pandemic struck, and of course, you know, I haven't been to the International House of Pancakes since then, let alone a trade mission. But things are coming back alive. We spoke to Las Vegas Rotary today, and you know, we are in the planning stages for what we can do in 2022. Certainly, the pandemic has accelerated lots of trends, and building stronger trade relationships with those who share our common desire for democracy is high on our list, and we look forward to putting some expedition together in the coming year. And thank you very much for being here. It's been an honor to be in this job, and I thank the governor. When I spoke today, someone was describing the challenge of bringing Nevada back in recovery, and this fellow said, well, it sounds like you have a very tough job. And I said, no, toughest job in America right now is to be governor of a state. Governors of states, I've watched, and the governor and I are only a few years difference in age, and those were very tough decisions that he had to make, and he had to make them alone. You know, I just think he did a remarkable job. And sitting there in my corporate experience, thinking, wow, I never had to make a decision as difficult as the one Governor Sisolak has had to make each and every day. So, thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also do want to recognize Christopher Sanchez, who got in here, Deputy Director of Co-Ed. And the governor had mentioned it earlier, the staff of the restaurant. We also just want to mention and thank Bindi and Chris Spotty. They're always together, always supporting LVICC and the events. Thank you guys. We love coming here. And now we do want to go on with the speakers that are here tonight. Our first speaker is going to be Stephen Peralta, Nevada Donor Network. He's going to update us on statistics here in Nevada.
Great. Thank you, Sue. Good evening, everyone. Governor Sisolak, First Lady Kathy. So good to have you here and be having dinner with you tonight. Congresswoman Titus, we are in your district. Thanks for visiting us back in 2019 at our campus. In 2019, in November, our senior leadership team had the opportunity to attend an International Society of Organ Donor and Procurement International Conference in Dubai. And at that conference, there were over 57 countries represented in the organ donation and transplantation space around the world. And we had an opportunity to meet several of the physicians coming from India. At that conference, we made a pitch to the trade association, the International Trade Association, to have that conference here in November of 2023. And we are very humbled and proud to say that we will be hosting, Las Vegas will be host city at Mandalay Bay in November of 2023, and we'll have over 57 countries represented right here, alive and well. So we're very excited to have that opportunity. At Nevada Donor Network, we do recover the life-saving organs, ocular and tissues for the state of Nevada. And unfortunately, over 95% of all the life-saving organs that we recover are leaving our state. And because of the one transplant center at UMC, we're very thankful it's alive and well, it's growing under the leadership of Dr. Patel with kidneys. However, every other life-saving organ is leaving our state. And we can, we will, and we must do better. And so we've embarked upon an initiative to launch a virtual transplant institute. We've been very thankful and very blessed that through that, Bill Foley and the Vegas Golden Knights Foundation have supported our foundation, $250,000. We just released a statement last week with UMC that they've also contributed a $12 million in kind as well as a cash contribution to our efforts. But we can and we must do more. These generous organ donors are coming from our citizens right here. There's a story that many of you probably heard earlier this week that there's a mother, a 29-year-old mother, who is on death's door currently. Unfortunately, she did not get the vaccine. She became COVID positive, and she also gave birth. And she's now in need of a lung transplant. And this news was released just this past week. We're trying to help any way we can, but unfortunately, this is an example of what's happening to Nevadans. That if you need any other life-saving organ transplant besides kidneys, Nevadans are having to leave our state. And so I will end tonight by saying that we can, we will, and we must accomplish this. We need your support. And again, thank you to the Governor and First Lady for being here.
Thank you, Stephen. Now we got Harry. Harry Singh coming up here, Chairman of LDICC.
Good evening, friends. Governor Sislak, Congresswoman Pinatitis, Michael Brown, and all my friends here. As a chair of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce, I thank you all being here with me today to have a small moments of discussions on our collaboration between India and Nevada business opportunities. I would say opportunities. I had a chance what Michael Brown was saying in 2019. More often we are talking about 2019 because last year was shutdown case, sitting at home. I had an opportunity traveling to India with two of my good friends from Goa on an exploration visit. 4 days visit, we met 73 people, including a round table of 42 people attending. And everybody was talking, let's shake hands. Let's do something different. Let's make our students and education and IT experts to contribute between Nevada as well as in India. As I was exploring with a high demand of opportunity, which I believe is collaborations, I see a lot of opportunity of investments between the two countries. Associations was coming forward and we were wanting to learn from each other which are other hidden agendas which we can contribute to make either India country as a Nevada state to grow better. What I found during my exploration with a high scope of education, healthcare, industrial, engineering, mining, and not the last, tourism. India is very rich in tourism. If we talk about Palace on Wheels, my friend was ready to go with me to spend about $6,000 in 10 days visit. A Palace on Wheels, which is a 7-star hotel on rails. That's India. So we wanted to explore that when we are interactive and when we talking to Indian friends and saying it, come over, let's spend some time on a strip. I'll show you what glamour is. And they said, why not? India, sometimes they get energetic by looking at, oh my God, casinos, India is restricted on it. But therefore, what we are talking about today is I would like to share and be very much proud that when I put something on the table with LVICC and AAG board, they said, let's do it. Because I know I've got a community who's supporting me to do this. And I being originated from India, educated in India and England, and see a lot of opportunities which we can do right here. We are a very bright state, we have opportunities, but we need to do more and more. When I was talking to a couple of healthcare professionals right here in the house, I found we have got a lack of number of healthcare professionals to work here. And the existing manpower, sometimes they move away from the state. We got to retain them. We need to have a very good education system, which is already placed. But we need to have a manpower who's skilled enough to stay back and say that let's make good students to stay back in our state to develop them. And on this desk, I wanted to put up a pitch to help me to guide you and to run along with you to make this happen. And I believe LVICC and AAG on a common platform would certainly like to put my first foot forward to assist every institution wherever I can to make this beautiful state progressive again in those aspects of industry which is widely needed. Yes, we are rich into gold and we are importing a lot of diamonds, but my fingers are empty. I can't wear a diamond and a gold either. But we can do wonders. That country which we was talking about half an hour ago with 1.3 billion population, some people laugh at India has got a lot of population. I said that's an asset. Human resources asset. When we were talking about Dubai, Dubai has a population of 700,000 people. The sheikhs are 200,000 and 500,000 people are all immigrants who are working to make that country progress. And everybody today jumps on in Dubai, let's go, it's a beautiful country. Who made it? 50, 60 years ago that was a desert. If you go by the history of Dubai, just 50 years and Dubai is one of the best country where everybody wants to go. We can do it here as well. We can do it in India too. So my pitch is again, once again, before I go off the dais, is to come together. And one word which I always practice, let's do it. Everything is possible. Thank you very much.
Okay, our next speaker is Ramesh Srinivasan, President and CEO of Agilysys, I hope I'm saying that right, Ramesh, Incorporated, and former President and CEO of Valley Technologies.
Honorable Governor, First Lady, Honorable Congresswoman, Honorable Consul General of India, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. It's very nice to be here. Special thanks to the Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce for inviting my extraordinarily lovely wife and me to this dinner. Really appreciate it. Governor, just one quick note. I can understand, you were not going to distribute samples of gold and diamond. But one thing I would suggest to avoid the topic, now that you have reminded us of diamonds, people like me will have to face the music. We run families by carefully avoiding the topic. Now you've brought it up and put a few of us in trouble. Anyway, so seriously, my name is Ramesh Srinivasan and I'm the CEO of a company called Agilysys, AGILYSYS, NASDAQ. We've been a public company for 50 years. Our symbol is AGYS. When you're driving on 215 from Summerlin towards Henderson, you see the Switch building on your right. Right next to that is our building. Southeast used to be there. And we focus on hospitality software solutions. So we provide point of sale for restaurants, for enterprise restaurants, not restaurants like that. You see the terminal there and all the servers and the systems behind it, point of sale systems for food and beverage. We also do hotel management systems. So almost every property you see in the casino strip and otherwise are our customers. So if you're standing in reception and it's taking a long time for the queue to get for you to be checked in, they're probably using our competitor system. But if you're quickly able to get through the queue and get to your room in no time and just use your phone as a key, they're probably using our system. So hotel management systems, and we also do inventory procurement for food and beverage. So automatic ordering systems through vendors and all that. And so that's what we specialize in, about 150 to 160 million annual revenue. Global, our major offices are Las Vegas, Atlanta, London, Singapore, Chennai in India, and Kuala Lumpur in Hong Kong, and we are a global company. We provide these solutions all across the world. And one quick quiz I will give you and one quick note I'll tell you. We've been public for a long time. The current management, this was a struggling company in 2017. The current management team got together and we have turned it around. And the best way to increase employment and hire more people is to run a company profitably. When you run a company well and profitably, you're able to hire more people all over the world. And so we started turning it around in 2017. So beginning of 2018, if you had $10,000 in your pocket and you had a choice between investing it by buying shares of Microsoft, Google Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Twitter, Oracle, or I can go on and on, Adobe. I'm carefully avoiding the name Tesla, but other than that, if you had a choice of investing in one of those companies or Agilysys, you would have been better off investing in Agilysys at that time. And a struggling company has really turned around now, and we are able to hire more people. And even during the pandemic, we kept expanding our R&D, so we are doing fairly well now. And I want to say thank you to both the US government, the Nevada government, and the Indian government for being so helpful. And we've had no issues. We have no cause for complaint. Whatever we wanted, we do business the right way, so we've always had the support of the government. And if at all there is one plea I would have for all the government officials here, is to make the immigration laws a little bit more human. That's all one can ask for. Whether it is for the dreamers, for no fault of them there at all, you get brought in as a small child and you're left in no man's land. I don't know what could be a more depressing feeling than that. And we also know of a lot of people, a lot of hard-working immigrants, not necessarily only from India, but from various countries, who contribute so much to this country, innovation-wise, carrying companies forward, enabling more employment. They work so hard, pay tens of thousands of dollars in taxes every year, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, and still struggle to get a decent status even after 10, 15 years. That somehow doesn't seem too human to me. Maybe we can all do whatever we can to help that. That would be my only plea. Other than that, thank you very much. Wonderful to be here.
Now we have Amit Goyal. Amit is the CEO and co-founder of Droices Incorporated. He's in Nevada, New York, California, and India. Amit?
Hello everyone. Honorable Governor, there's a deficit between India and Nevada, huge. There's a deficit between India and Nevada of just $1 billion. And thank you for inviting me. I'm not a speaker really, but I was asked. So there are a lot of things. We are a Bay Area company, Silicon Valley company, doing a lot of business there, and we moved our innovation center to Las Vegas. Not only that, I'm a part of a group of 80 plus businesses in the Bay Area. Most of the business are moving to Texas or Phoenix. They are more moving to Vegas. And I'm a big proponent of that, Vegas. And UNLV has to play a big role in that, really, because the talent is what's required. Now, as Ramesh mentioned about immigration reform and all, and I do participate a lot in that. And it was why I'm here. It was Mr. Bush Sr. back in 91 started a thing called H1B. And that's how, for me, my Janam Bhumi, where I was birthplace, India, and my current Bhumi, where I'm working, is America. And the bond is so strong, and that's why we are here. So thank you very much, LBICC, for inviting. Now, what we want to do is how we can increase this relationship, how we can do more better. And a biggest part of this, as our Consulate General Prasad said too, education, big time. Too many students from India visiting US, they convert into various visas. So how these things can change, how a country like America, entrepreneurs can really leverage it. Bay Area specifically, every second startup, every first CEO, basically 80% of the CEOs are from Indian origin. And that's the strength India is bringing. But at the same time, the opportunities are not only in the US, there are a lot of opportunities in India. And that's why a lot of wealth is flowing from US to India in the startup to multi-billion companies, unicorns now we call them. So this is going again. But the most important strength is countries standing together. So we have gone through recent COVID, and US has been a great partner. Nevada specifically has been a great partner, a big help. California, right, we were in queues, we were not getting any vaccination, so we were trying to wait us to get the vaccination. So excellent job done by your office. That's really incredible. And beside that, when the second wave hit, a lot of people jumped in, helped, as us, we did as an entrepreneur what we can do, as a non-profit what we can do. It was really incredible that with the help of Indian Consulate San Francisco, and with help of local business people, entrepreneurs, and Bay Area, we were able to get like we were talking in Dubai, so we were able to get oxygen tankers from Middle East to India. We were able to get O2 concentrators, ventilators from USA within like 2 days, 3 days. They were so quick, although a lot of manufacturing was made in China. But the things with the collaboration, so it became a one word together, and it was an incredible journey for me, and really, I'm so thankful. And as a business, we want to grow in Nevada, especially Las Vegas, and we really need a lot of talent, a lot of help from local entrepreneurs and universities, and we are looking forward for that.
Before we accept this reward recognition, I'd just like to announce and say thank you, Congresswoman Dina Titus and Consul General Prasad, who have helped us. I still remember, like to share that we organized a 747 cargo jumbo aircraft from San Bernardino Airport to fly with 3 million worth of medical supplies, including oxygen concentrators, which we collected from Los Angeles and from the Bay Area, to fly as an humanitarian aid. And I appreciate all your efforts supporting me to make sure that the flight landing in India in time, even though we got only 6 hours of Indian airspace to make it happen. And you would be surprised if I say and share a little story that when we loaded that aircraft from San Bernardino, it's a surprise that a jumbo 747 was loaded with fuel in 2 hours. We had 2 simultaneous tankers who was loading the fuel, and we made it flying hours of 14 hours to New Delhi, 6 hours halt, offloading the material, and the flight took off again to Germany for further more repairs. So this is such a wonderful support which I got it from the office of Congresswoman and the Consul General, and I'm proud of my own team. Day in, day out, we work together to make it happen. So I appreciate all of you for such a beautiful effort. Of course, she's the key. She's allowing me to use the American airspace to fly that aircraft out. Thank you. Another flight is I'm getting ready for Philippines.
Yay.
So that's in process right now, and I've been already talking to a couple of big and small and medium donors to help me to make that flight successful for Philippines, because that country is still suffering.
We need that, Harry.
There
In
you
the
go.
Philippines.
Thank you very much. And number 2, I'd just like to announce, since Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce has initiated a scholarship program, and I would certainly like to request everybody, open your pockets and give some little bit money to me so that I can help the students from a medical background who wants to do something in life but they're not able to do it because of financial issues or problems. So not only medical students but also the young students of various schools who's looking for a scholarship program. And we have got a chair who's managing all our scholarship systems in LVICC Foundation, and we'd like you all to just help us to make this happen for our young students. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Governor and First Lady. And my name is Anu. I work with Clark County School District. I'm the chair. And this scholarship we have started, we are focusing on high school students, kindergarten through 12th grade. And the scholarship is Accessibility and Inclusion in Education 2021. And we are promoting for the kids which are underprivileged, which have special needs, which are struggling. And there's a very cool prompt, and it is very positive. It's about what are opportunities they have, how they are struggling, and the most important is how they are overcoming their challenge. That's the prompt, and it's in a positive way. We want to encourage kids, and I'd appreciate if everybody can donate for this cause. It is going to target a lot of kids in CCST, so I'll appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. And it's online. There is a QR code. Just click on that QR code, and we'll be happy to take the check here. So Rita is here. Thank you so much.
the reason we're doing this is because a lot of students are getting honor students, for 4-point average, they're always getting scholarships. What happened to those kids that are 3 point plus or -3 or they're struggling? Is anybody recognizing them? No one. So we are starting this program to help those kids to make that happen for them, to work the challenges, because they are talented kids, but they have some setbacks. And when they see a 4-point average going up and getting scholarships left and right, they're left out. But they can go a lot better because they work a lot harder. So that's our initiative for LBICC and Asian American Group, is to recognize and do this all the time. So this is a new thing, and all the memberships that we get, we don't pay anybody, we don't have any payroll, we don't have anything except everything is going back to the community. Over the years, I know Governor Sisolak was pitching for our turkeys and Christmas gifts and all that, but what has happened with the pandemic, we couldn't even buy the turkeys because we can't deliver them. So now we've shifted to scholarship for these kids, and we're working with her as a educator and the CCSD to help us recognize those children. Thank you. Governor, you didn't have to give it tonight.
No.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
She's the chair.
I'll take it.
So now I'd like to call on Bindi, because she's going to just say a few words about EB5. I know, just 2 more minutes. And just a few words about Congresswoman Dina Titus. Thank you. That plane would have never taken off from San Bernardino without your help. And then, of course, we had the help of the Indian government for it to land. I mean, you can't take off and not land if you don't have the right connection. So thank you.
Yep.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Rita, for making me part of LBICC. I've been the secretary of this chamber since its inception. Thank you, Harry. Warm welcome to our Governor, Steve Sisolak, First Lady, Congresswoman Dina Titus, and our Consul General, Dr. Prasad. So I love how this conversation suddenly moved to immigration. So thank you, Ramesh, Amit, and our Consul General. We've been talking about how to get the right talent from India to the US. I want to talk about this particular mechanism, this immigrant visa called the EB5, which is available to entrepreneurs from around the world, not just India, but India is the number 2 consumer of EB5 visas in the world. Now, this is an investment-based visa, so people are bringing money to the US. They have to invest in a US company and they have to create jobs. Jobs are mandated, it's part of the EB5 regs. You bring money to the US, you invest in the US, you create jobs, in return you take a green card. So this mechanism, it's a very easy, simple mechanism. The minimum amount of investment is $500,000 right now. If your project is located in a targeted employment area, which is an area of high unemployment, otherwise it's $1 million. This amount is poised to go up very soon, maybe on December 3rd when Congress meets again for the reauthorization of the program. I'll keep it short. There is a flyer that explains on your table, on every table, which explains the mechanism of the visa. But basically, you put money in, you create jobs, and what it means for Nevada. This program, since its inception, has brought in billions of dollars into the US, and hundreds of thousands of jobs have been created. Right now, there are a little less than 700,000 regional centers that accept investments. Nevada has only 21. So it means if we're able to get more investment in Nevada, just imagine the influx of money and the jobs that we can create. Now, there are a lot of changes in the law right now. It's in a state of flux. But if anyone wants to talk about it, what the changes are, what the changes will be, I'm happy to talk about it. Any questions? I'm around here. So thank you and enjoy the evening.
Our next speaker for this evening is Jeff Talbot, VP for Research. and he's the Dean of College of Graduate Studies at Roseman University.
Thank you, Sue. So I think I'm the last speaker, which means I have 2 assignments. The first is to invite you to join me in our gracious hosts thanking them. Sue, Rita, Harry, thank you for this lovely evening, terrific food, and great environment. Thank you. My second assignment is to be brief. Just briefly representing Roseman University of Health Sciences. That's a formal way to introduce myself, but perhaps the one I'm more inclined to is I'm just a kid that grew up in Battle Mountain. And there's probably 3 people in here that know where that is. It's a small mining town, right? We mined the gold, Governor. I'm very passionate about our state. Left for some training and came back for the opportunity to join Roseman a number of years ago. Very excited about 2 strategic initiatives that we've begun that I think plays a direct role in our ability to help the Chamber in bringing both business opportunity as well as educational pipelines to our great state. I included, I think there's a handout perhaps at a few of your tables. The innovation and research sector for Nevada is really an area of untapped potential. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the U.S. and particularly in the Intermountain West. I'm a scientist by training, so I fought off the temptation to throw some data at you as part of that. But there are, depending on the state in our region, 20 to 30% growth in this industry. They are high-paying jobs that modernize our workforce. And yet we lack some of the educational training programs to help train that workforce. We just think there's a tremendous opportunity to diversify our economy while increasing the both health and technical areas here in Nevada. So these 2 programs, one are educational. We've begun 2 Master of Science programs. One is specifically targeted, and I'm going to echo Harry and others, to take students that perhaps need some additional training and help them to be qualified applicants for our professional degree programs. And by our, I don't mean Roseman. By our, I mean Nevada. Dentists, pharmacists, nurses, doctors. So this Master of Science program helps those students increase their academic credentials to qualify for those clinical training opportunities. The second is a Master of Science degree in pharmaceutical sciences. It's the only program in Nevada, in Utah. In fact, it's only one of 2 in the entire Intermountain West. We've initiated that program this year. We've partnered with local industries. I'll give one example. ProCaps Laboratories is one of the larger manufacturers of vitamins and nutritional supplements in the U.S. They're located here in Southern Nevada, in Henderson. They have partnered with us to create a fellowship. So they are paying our students to attend Roseman to receive this training because they recognize the need for training that workforce for tomorrow. So that those educational pipelines, we are eager to engage in international admissions and provide opportunities for students from India to come to Nevada and take advantage of our great state. Secondly is an innovation center or incubator type concept. Our Summerlin campus contains nearly 100,000 square feet of turnkey biotech, bioscience laboratory space. And we are actively engaged looking for partners to bring in and create an environment with industry, academics, and hopefully the government to foster innovation, startups, development. We know that there are inflationary pressures that are driving companies to our state, a more favorable market for developing those industries. And we think that this is an area of potential for us as a state. Lastly, we're pretty committed to developing partnerships through the Republic of India. In fact, one of our immunologists, and how important is that right now, Dr. Manash Mandel, is a recent recipient of a Fulbright scholarship to go back to India to train and teach students in India some of that immunology that is so desperately needed in this world of COVID. So with that, and on behalf of Roseman University, thank you for listening to us this evening. It's great to be with you. This is my first chamber event, hopefully the first of many.
Pretty much that concludes our presentation, but the dinner is still available. But then we have a video guy here that's going to do an interview with each of the speakers, so please stay behind. And I think he wants to start with our governor, because this video is going to be out there on our website, and it's going to go to India as well. So all these things are going to be out there for a reason. And what can I say? On behalf of our staff, thank you very much. And we'd like to take some photos with Congressman Dina Titus before you leave with our LBICC and the speakers. Thank you. Governor Steve Sisolak, Rita Baswani, President of LBICC. What was the take for tonight?
Well, tonight was a great event, and I appreciate the opportunity for both the First Lady and Nancy and I to be here. We got a discussion between the relationship of India and the United States, Nevada in particular, what Nevada exports to India, what we import from India in terms of commodities, and also students. We've got a lot of students coming here, and our students go there. We've got a relationship with India, and we need to help that to grow, to continue to grow and prosper, develop in the future, and I think it's going to benefit both of us. I'd love to. Kathy's been telling me. We'd love to go.
All right. Let's go to India. Thank you. This interview is with our Congresswoman Dina Titus of Nevada, U.S. Representative. Tonight we have the pleasure of having her here talk about the business relationship between Nevada and India. This is Rita Baswani, President of LBICC. I'd like for our Congresswoman to say a few words about the presentation this evening.
Well, thank you so much, Rita, for having me and all that you do with the Indian Chamber. You're not only on the ground here helping during COVID, but you've inspired so many entrepreneurs and businesses, and we know that small business is the key to our recovery. I serve on the Foreign Affairs Committee and the Subcommittee on Asia, so I'm intricately involved with our relationship with the two countries, the two big democracies, and that's a very valuable thing to strengthen and continue.
Okay, and maybe you want to say something to our Consul General of India?
Well,
this is an interview here.
Oh, well, it's such a delight to spend the evening with our Consul General from San Francisco. We're already talking about ways to work together to strengthen the bond between our two countries.
Thank you very much, Honorable Congresswoman. Pleasure and honor to see you this evening at the Las Vegas and India Chamber of Commerce. Both the countries are working towards increasing our trade, commercial relations. I would like to thank you once again, and we must work together to strengthen the relationship. Thank you once again.
Absolutely, and it's so great that our country has opened up tourism now. We can fly to India and other countries.
We too have opened.
What year did you go to India when you were invited?
What year was it? That sounds about right. Yeah.
And you had the pleasure of meeting with Prime Minister Modi.
Yes.
Oh, that is
lunch
great.
with him.
Oh.
Yeah, we had some pictures. It was a wonderful experience. And went to the Taj Mahal.
Oh, yes.
The most beautiful place in the world. So, thank you.
You'll be invited with our delegation.
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to. Keep me on your list now.
We sure will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. This is Rita Baswani, President of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce, and this is our famous Jeremy Aguero from Applied Analysis. And he's going to talk about what he heard tonight, how he can grow the relationship between India and Nevada, as much as that now you're learning about what can be as far as preparing a delegation for next year to India.
Yeah, look.
Jeremy?
Rita, I'll tell you, what I learned tonight is just about all the things that are possible. You have two economies, both that have embraced democracy, both which are challenging to grow and expand from an economic development standpoint. And I think what's possible is finding a way where entrepreneurial spirit can be found and deployed in a very effective way. And I think if we're able to do that, if we're able to accomplish that, it'd be tremendous for both our countries.
So you've heard about the need of more students coming here to Nevada so that we can really do a big number, and we would like to invite you in our delegation for 2022.
Look, if you're there, you can count me in. Look, there's no doubt we need students and we need the entrepreneurs to put them to work. And I think our two countries finding a way to come together and do that is good for everyone.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you for coming tonight. We appreciate your presence.
Always
Thank
happy.
Rita Vaswani, President of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce. This is our event for the evening. And I'd like to interview Amit, who is the CEO of Voices, and he's here with Rahul. Both are from Voices, and they were speaking tonight on some of the information that is important for our business relations opportunities between India and Nevada. Amit, please.
Yeah, so I'm a big proponent of opportunities, and Nevada is growing, so is the education system here. So how we can have more and more students all over the world, especially from India, in Nevada, who can really excel in STEM and related field, and really leverage the platform we have in Nevada and turn Nevada from a mining state to really creating diamonds here, means really creating a talent here. So that's what Nevada, I'm looking for that partnership. How we can hire more and more talent. I'm a Silicon Valley company, have a huge talent pool in India, Bay Area, but we chose Las Vegas as a home for innovation because so much is happening here, gaming, innovation, whatnot. And not only that, Las Vegas is converting from gaming to an entertainment hub, right? So you have nights here, golden nights, you have Raiders from Bay Area here now, and now Vegas is also trying to get the baseball team. So now what is left? So thank you.
Thank you so much, Amit. Pleasure to have you here tonight, Rahul. Thank you for being here tonight. We need to get together.
Yeah, I'm here. I can connect with you. Absolutely. Sanjay will be back.
Now you know where we have a meeting right here. Thank you. Okay, good evening. This is Rita Vaswani, President of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce, and here with me is Consul General Prasad, Honorable Prasad, Consul from San Francisco. I would like to ask a few questions from our guests here this evening. What was your take for this evening, and how did you feel the response of our Governor, Sisolak, and Congresswoman Dina Titus?
First of all, thank you very much, Rita, and thank you and your team of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce. Such institutional linkages really help strengthen the trade and commercial bonds between our two countries. This evening particularly was very, very significant. The pandemic, because Honorable Governor was there along with First Lady, and then Honorable Congresswoman who is on the Foreign Relations Committee was here, and then both having keen interest in developing partnership with India. You know, what else one gets in an evening like this, and then we are very happy that Las Vegas is looking forward for strengthening relationship as Consulate General of India in San Francisco. We will be very happy to support you, to be with you in your endeavors to strengthen this partnership.
Thank you so much. And with this evening, we're so honored that he flew all the way from San Francisco for this event in order to make this close connection with Congresswoman Dina Titus and our Governor, Steve Sisolak. And we hope to continue this relationship and grow a lot better, because I think you kindly invited them for our delegation for 2022 to India. And Congresswoman Dina Titus was pleased to hear that she said she can make it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rita. Keep doing such events in future.
We'll be happy to have you all the time. Thank you. Rita Vaswani, President of Las Vegas India Chamber of Commerce, and I have Garima here, who is our news editor in public relations. And we're so honored to have Michael Brown, who is the Deputy Director of GoEd. and Governor's Office of Economic Development. Michael, what was your take for tonight?
Oh, tonight was very successful. It introduced a lot of innovative ideas. As we come out of the pandemic, we are well positioned in a specific time zone state, Pacific Rim state, and a young state filled with innovators. And I think we're going to do a lot of partnerships in the future.
Very good. And I think there was an issue about immigration and how to make it easier now for foreign students to come here.
Yes, I think India's got incredible human talent who's coming to the United States, so we want to help open the door for that. Our governor and congressional delegation are progressive in this area, and we'll do what we can to help them come.
We are so proud that you made it here tonight so we could be able to talk to you and see you in person. And your input is very, very necessary.
We look forward to it. India is a country that shares our democratic values, and I want our trade priorities are going to start with our allies.
So now we know that so much gold is here and there and diamonds, right?
Yes, absolutely. But we need to talk about technology and
mining and
the world of tomorrow.
A lot of it, yes. And I'm glad that we could be of help. We would like to invite you for a formal invitation for her to interview you for our newsletter.
Yes.
In our newsletter, we're going to talk about what is Michael Brown going to do for our go-in to increase our business relations, entrepreneurship, everything that has to be done in the state of Nevada.
I find international business has really built up personal relationships.
Very good.
And I was pleased to build several of them tonight.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
We'll talk more.
Hi, everybody. We are here. We have Stephen with us from the president from the Nevada Business Network. Stephen, how was your evening today?
Great evening, good food, good company, great speakers. Always a good event at the LVICC.
Great. So what are your goals? What are you looking forward in the future with us?
100% supporting the kids. The education program is very important, but also bringing in the right talent, keeping the talent. Obviously, I think the Indian community, very smart, very entrepreneurial, and we need to create the opportunities to retain those workers and those entrepreneurs to stay here.
I haven't seen them.
Thank you.